Do you want your volleys to look like this? Then make sure you stay till the end of this video because we're gonna show you the 6 tips to volley like a pro. Vamos! Hi PadelDrivers, welcome to the net, the place to be where the magic happens and where the points are won. And this is why today we're going to be talking about the volley, one of the most important shots in Padel, and make sure that you apply the 6 tips that we're going to give you today because it's going to allow you to have a massive weapon when you are attacking. So let's go with tip number 1. Tip number 1 has to do with ready position at the net, super simple between post number 1 and post number 2. And here we have to take into account 3 things. The first thing has to do with the racket. Racket at the height of my chest, okay? Tip of the racket pointing up, okay? That's number 1. Second one, many people forget about this one, super important. The left hand, in my case, because I'm right-handed, has to go in the heart of the racket, okay? I don't want to see the hand here, like many players, or the hand here. Left hand here, so if I remove my right hand, the racket doesn't move because it's still being held with the left hand. So that's tip number 2. And tip number 3 has to do with my knees, okay? I have to be really active with my knees so that when the ball comes to me, bam! Massive volley. Tip number 2 has to do with the preparation of the shot when the ball is coming to me, okay? So we said this was my ready position, and here is super important that I keep the preparation of the shot short, okay? I don't want to go farther back because it's really hard to time the volley if my racket is here. So for example, if I bring the racket here, it's really hard for me to get there in time. However, if I just open the face of my racket and I play from here, it's way easier to control the ball. So Ali, please, I keep it short and I just touch it there, okay? Super important, guys, remember, short preparation. Tip number 3 is a little bit more advanced, but it's really good that you start trying this from the very beginning. Has to do with the moment of the impact, okay? And has to do as well with the footwork. So from my ready position, I'm preparing short, and when I'm hitting, I have to try to take this step at the same time that I'm hitting the ball. Okay, so from here, good go there. In case it's a backhand volley, I will have to go with my right foot there in diagonal, okay? So try to time it so that it happens at the same moment of the impact. So let's see a demo, Ali, please. A little bit, Ali, a little bit lower, please. Tip number 4 has to do with the follow-through, but here we have to understand what are we aiming for, okay? So when I'm at the net, basically the perfect volley would look like that. Something bouncing at the line that after touching the glass stays really close, and that's really hard for my opponent to try to play from here, okay? So we are trying to force my opponent to play below waistline. Okay, so what do we need to do to achieve this kind of shot? So first, everything that we explained before, and then when we get to this point where my racket is already prepared, tip of the racket up, okay? Super important that I don't follow through towards the ground too quickly, because in this way the ball is gonna go high and we don't want that. So it's super important that from here we remember to push to get a nice length, okay? So remember, rather than going down, I'm gonna push forward to get that length. Super important. Remember as well that we are trying to get the ball really close to the ground. So obviously playing with a little bit of a slice is gonna help us reaching that. So opening up a little bit the face of the racket when I'm hitting. So I'm gonna touch the ball with the face of the racket a little bit open. That's gonna help you keep the ball really low. Tip number 5, and nobody thinks about this one, is the recovery. Okay, what we have to think is that shot in paddle is not just the impact, it's everything that we do before the impact and everything we do after the impact. Okay, so from the volley position I'm gonna be hitting, and it's very important that I don't end up the shot here because now I'm out of position, the weight of my body is not where it should be. So after hitting this ball, really important to take this step back and go back to tip number 1 with this ready position. Okay, so I hit and I quickly take this step back to come back to my ready position. Very important, paddle drivers. And before we jump to the last tip, paddle drivers, super important that once we are in this ready position, with the left hand we have to hit the like button. Okay, and subscribe because it really helps us. So now, getting serious, tip number 6 has to do with a tactical aspect. We have talked about this in previous videos, super important. When we're gonna hit a winner, it's easier to go cross. Okay, because we have a larger distance and we have more room to accelerate the ball even further. Okay, so remember, usually we're gonna stick to the player that is hitting the ball, but if we're gonna go for a winner, we can usually go cross court to accelerate even more. Paddle drivers, make sure that you apply these 6 tips in your next paddle game and let us know in the comments which one was your favorite. Thank you for watching and we will see you in the next one. ¡Vamos!